Hi, I'm Heinbach. Good to have you back. This is the first laptop I used to make music with, both in the studio and live. It's an Asus 8400, and I got it in 2000 or 2001 for the hefty price of 5000 Deutsche Mark. I've been on a journey with laptops ever since. I stayed with PC for a long time, but at some point Firewire was a thing and PCs only had the tiny 4-pin Firewire ports. So I had to switch to Mac. The classic white MacBook that still runs, which is amazing to me. And this was for the longest time my music laptop. Then I switched to a bigger model, which died after 3 years because I spilled water onto it. Then I had the 13-inch 2014 model. You might have heard it in some of my videos because the fan on this got really loud as it was really stressed with all the tasks that I was doing with it. So I decided it was time to upgrade, and I got the new MacBook Pro 16-inch. And the question is, was it worth it for music? Now, this is the most expensive laptop that I bought, clocking in at about 3,800 euro. And if I would only do music, I would definitely say this is overkill. But I'm cutting 4K video footage, so I can talk to you. I choose the cheapest 8-core version, the best graphic cards, because that's supported by Final Cut, which I use for editing. And I put in 16 gigs of RAM, because I'm not using that many sample libraries. And according to all the sources that I've read, 16 is mostly enough for the task that I want. I invested in the 2 terabyte hard drive, because that's something that I'm always running out of, even though I'm mostly using external SSDs. The first thing I did when I got this was migrate my old system, which has been over 3 computers now, I think, and that didn't work out at all. It was an utter disaster. Nothing worked. The computer took forever to boot. It wouldn't recognize my interface of choice, which is the, can you see it here? Babyface Pro by RME. It felt like I'd gotten a Ferrari and filled it up to the brink with old trash. So I did a complete reinstall. And that reinstall took me at least a day or two as I tried to figure out all the licenses of all the plugins that I needed and all the software that I needed to update and install. But in the end, it felt at least like a fresh computer and not this dumpster fire that it was before. But how does it perform actually? Well, it performs rather well with the plugins that do work. For example, Native Instruments Massive. I am able to get voice counts that my old laptop would struggle against, which is very nice. And I never notice much of a problem anymore once I go past a certain amount of percentage, like 67% processor use. So that works fine. I did have some hiccups that I've never had before. My RME Babyface did not work just before I tried this video because I couldn't adjust the gain in the Total Mix software anymore. I had to reboot it and then it worked again. But that was really the first time that an RME interface, the Babyface Pro for that matter, did not work. So that gave me a bit of pause because I really rely on that thing to be stable, because I've got a lot of instruments that need servicing and they can give me downtime. But the one thing that I never thought would give me any trouble and has never given me was the Babyface, except with this installation. So yeah, I'll watch this and see what happens in the future. But as I said, it was good after just rebooting. That fixed it. Some plugins that I use don't work at all. The iZotope RX stuff, and I really need that to clean up audio, to clean up the tape noise, to remove hiss. They wrote me back with like a page of what I have to do to bypass the installer. I'm not gonna do that. I'll just wait until they fix it, and then I hope to get iZotope RX back to where it was before, because it's one of the most important cleaning up and repair, and I made something bad. Please help me, softwares that I have. In the beginning I mentioned that I switched from PC to Mac because of the nice Firewire 6-pin connectors. Well, this machine sucks absolutely in that regard. I'm in adapter hell. This only has 4 ports for USB-C. So I need an adapter for the Babyface Pro. One is already taken with a power supply. I've got 2 of these multi-adapters that feature regular USB and then have card readers. But the card readers on these are slow. So I got another card reader, a special one that's fast for the big SD cards that I use. But that one won't read the cards from my portable recorder. So now I need to take 2 card readers with me if I want fast video card transfer, and I just want to transfer audio card from my field recorder, which is absolutely stupid, I feel. The SuperDrive that I use to burn CDs, which is sometimes still a necessity in my work for the theater, it doesn't work on one of these. It requires more power. So I need something like the special Mac approved adapter, which is just USB-C to USB for 25 bucks to get this to run. Which again, I find rather stupid. So, and USB-C, come on, it's really not the best connector out there in regards to sturdiness. I would feel bad if I still went up with a laptop on stage, which might happen at some point, and I had to rely on USB-C. I don't want to be in that situation. Firewire was probably the last that I really liked on stage because it was a big enough connector and I could tape it down easily. But USB-C, it's just not reliable, I feel, because I'm sitting there with all these connectors like XLR, large jack, and I frowned even at the small stereo stuff that I have to use. But a USB-C connector, that's bullshit life. So I'm not really happy with that. It's adapter hell for the whole thing. I haven't run into any production breaking bugs with this thing. There's no mystery ground hum, there are no sudden dropouts, nothing of that sort I have so far experienced, which is rather nice, and I've been using this a lot in the past 2 weeks. But there are things on here that I find absolutely superfluous, like the touch bar. I would rather have the F1 to F10 keys simply to mute stuff in Ableton. I just loved using the F keys for that, and I probably need to get a tool that can have a script where I can get that functionality back. And the touch bar has some very gimmicky features, like why the hell would I want to see the URL of a video that I'm playing on YouTube? Why? And I don't look there that much. Do I want to train myself to look at the touch bar? Maybe there's some Final Cut stuff, like video stuff, because that integrates tightly with the whole thing and is actually the main reason why I got this big of a MacBook for this, because I want to do video editing on this. And that's the reason why I picked the biggest graphic card, because that's supported by that. But for music, probably a simpler one would have sufficed. At least for the projects where I'm running, where it's mostly editing and some cleanup and a few choice effects. It feels much more stable than my last MacBook, which was at its way out after 5.5 years. And it seems to work fine. You might be able to hear the fan if I'm quiet. It's not very loud, and it's easy to filter out after, and also it's not piercing. It's very much lower range noise, which is pretty good compared to the smaller 13-inch MacBook that I had before. Would I recommend the new MacBook Pro 16-inch for music? It's probably overpowered unless you're using a lot of plugins. I love it for video editing. It exports this video probably in 1/5 of the time that my old one took, and it renders all the effects that I do so fast. It's a joy to use. I don't notice it that much when I use Ableton or export there. It feels like not much of a difference in the time that it takes to export a track. I can make full usage of the massive X patches that I designed, which is pretty awesome. So if you're relying on VSTs, this might be a reason for you to go for the big one. I've got no idea if there's anything comparable in the PC world. My experience with all the PC notebooks that I had is that there was always some kind of stupid flaw. Be it the Asus ones that had a broken USB controller, be it strange glitches, heat issues, or a Sony Vaio whose battery would just die after it was out of warranty for 1 month. And I've never been really satisfied with any of those, but it might have changed. And if so, please do tell me in the comments. I'd like to know if there is an alternative to Apple, because I don't really mind which computer I'm using, if it's a Mac or PC. It's all just tools with different strengths and weaknesses. The music tools that I use are mostly platform independent. Ableton Live works both on a Mac and a PC, and you can transfer the sets. In the end, after 2 weeks of working with this machine a lot, I'm quite happy. I like it. I just have to remember to take all these stupid adapters with me every time I travel anywhere, and I have to be smart about that. And these are strong words from someone who made this USB cable whip from all the cables he had to buy when he was away from home and had forgotten a cable. So this is like, I don't know, $100 of USB cables. Cable whip of shame. I'll probably have something for USB-C adapters soon. So sorry if this video was a bit more rambling than usual and not much music, but I kind of feel it was important to talk about one of the hidden tools that I don't show in my work a lot. This is the thing that makes everything happen in the end. And I just want these things to be invisible and work. And screen saving. I thought I switched that off. It still does it. Even when I'm recording. This is so stupid. I need to see the screen. Okay, I'll have to dive into the settings again. All right, thank you all for watching. And yeah, please don't flame war about Mac versus PC or Linux. I don't care. Have a good day and see you in the next one. Bye.